Hi, my name is Nina Navazio, and I'm here with Ryan Bergara, Buzzfeed Unsolved, so we can talk about some things here as he's speaking at the College of New Jersey. Thank you to the Asian American Association for bringing Ryan here to our school to speak at this event. So,
Thank you
hi,
for
Ryan.
having me.
Yeah, welcome. Welcome to our school, our lovely Mayo Concert Hall.
It's a great hall. It's so great that when I tried to say thank you for having me, it came out thank you for having me. Like it kind of exploded as it came out of my mouth.
That
but yeah,
happens.
it's an impressive hall.
Thank you.
This is great.
Yeah, so to start off, how do you describe what you do, and how do people usually react?
To like passerby or like if I get in a lift.
I mean, yeah, if you're at a cocktail party and you're holding a nice margarita.
I'm always at cocktail parties,
you know,
yeah.
in your short skirt.
Yeah.
What do you
Super
say
tight.
to them? Yeah.
It really depends how I'm feeling that day. If I really want to start some fun conversation, I will just say, yeah, I'm a ghost hunter. I hunt and kill ghouls for a living.
Oh,
or
you kill ghouls?
I kill them as well.
Okay.
Or I'll say I try to solve crime. That's also a fun one.
That's also true.
If it's somebody that let's say it's been a long day, it's been a long day out in the ghoul farm, and I'm getting into a lift and I don't want to, really talk about the semantics of it. I will say I do internet video, and then they'll say, "What kind of internet video?" And I'm like, "It's really not that exciting," and they'll go, "Cool."
Wow.
So that's the range. And then if I'm feeling like, I guess. If I want to have a particularly big feather in my cap, I'll say like, "Oh, I'm a host, like a TV host or like an actor or something like that."
Yeah.
It really depends how I'm feeling.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how do they usually react when you say I'm a ghost hunter? You know, I kill ghosts. Are they like, my house is haunted, please
Normally,
come with me?
most people I talk to, and this is not a dig at all you Shaniacs out there, but most people that I do talk to will immediately then jump into ghost stories of their own.
Okay.
Almost everybody I talk to that I have told I'm a ghost hunter will say some sort of experience they had.
Wow.
As if I'm supposed to like Simon Cowell it and say whether or not I find it a valid story.
Yeah, you have to remotely diagnose them.
Yeah. And we'll talk about that. They'll talk about like what's the scariest place I've been to, the Sally House.
Okay, fair.
Or have I ever seen a ghost? And I'll say one time.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's
I
that.
mean, wow. What is your day-to-day work like? And can you run us through a day in the office of Buzzfeed Unsolved?
Yeah, so when I was actively working in the studio, the day-to-day was pretty simple. I'd be at my desk. I'd be researching new cases, new places that I want to see. And I'd work with our research team to kind of build out those ideas from like pre-production, like what are the resources we need to allocate. And then the research team will usually look up the cases and the haunted places themselves. I will also do my own research. We'll compare and contrast. They'll usually tell me that I can't say half the things I want to say, and that I'm a foolish man, which is true.
Which is true.
And then I'll form a script out of that. They'll check the script.
Okay.
We'll book the location. We'll go there. Basically, it's just a bunch of pre-production, editing, or shooting. If I'm not doing one, I'm doing one of the other ones. And then nowadays, I'm also working on a lot of stuff outside as well, too. So like outside projects that I'm excited to talk about at a later date.
Okay.
But also just still overseeing like a lot of Unsolved, and yeah, it's a crazy time.
Wow. So just a lot of like research and
Research,
pre-production,
editing, shooting.
Okay, yeah. Because when you're on site, you know about this. Like obviously, you've done all the research already.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you just tell it to Shane.
I have heard people say that I should go to more sites blind, because that would be
safer for you, probably.
Not so much from a safety standpoint, but from a confirmation bias standpoint. So like if I went into a room and I didn't know anything about it, and I said I feel like I just heard a name say it's Brittany. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was gonna say it, but I can't. I don't want to get bleeped. It's Brittany, and then like I find out later when I do research, Britney Spears got murked here. Holy cow! That would be impressive, right?
Yeah,
that'd be pretty impressive.
Yeah, then Shane is backed into a wall there.
Exactly, and also for like Spirit Box, Shane thinks that's essentially all the power of suggestion.
Yep.
So I have a narrative going in there.
Yep.
And I'm hearing my narrative fed
Play
back to
out,
me,
yeah.
essentially. It's confirmation bias. So I've thought about it, but that would also make for a pretty boring episode because half the show isn't even seeing the ghosts. I think half of it is the research, the story that's being told, and then Shane and I interacting. So
and illustrating the story through the videos, cutting to you guys being
exactly, yeah. So it would kind of change the show completely, but I would be interested in a very I guess, avant-garde ghost hunting show that a lot of people would find not entertaining, to be honest.
Listen,
so.
you have the Buzzfeed Unsolved network now.
That's true. I could
know?
do that. Yeah, I
You
could
know?
do that
Follow
if I
your
wanted
dreams.
to. I don't know if I'll follow that one. Maybe.
Maybe, maybe,
Yeah,
maybe.
maybe.
So when you started in season 1, season 0, if you will, when you did Tupac and Biggie Smalls,
Yeah.
you just had a crew of what looked like maybe 3 people, and now you have basically a full production team. You know, the credits flash at the end, and it's just going on and on.
Yeah, it goes on forever.
Yeah, it just keeps going. So what's it like to move from a show that, you know, has maybe 3 people on it to a full production staff now? And is it easier or harder to manage?
Well,
Like, what's that like?
First off, it's really cool. I'm super thankful that BuzzFeed has like allowed me to have the resources I've had to to produce the show and keep making it the way I want to make it. So I am super thankful for that. But yeah, in the beginning, it was literally me, Brent, and that's it.
Yeah, driving to Las Vegas.
And in that case, we had a special guest, Daisha. So in that day, we had a really crowded room. It was 3 people.
Oh my God.
And we
Yeah.
were running sound. We were running camera ourselves. A lot of times, actually, that Daisha episode, I don't think this ever got made or got put into that episode. We did an entire episode thinking we were rolling audio, and we weren't rolling the audio because Brent was supposed to press record, and we don't have anyone monitoring sound.
Wow.
So we had to redo the episode. I forget if it was
Wow.
Tupac or Biggie. We also, in that same drive, because we were so focused on doing the episode, we weren't paying attention to directions going home from Vegas, so we actually ended up at the border of Tijuana.
Okay. Wow.
So yeah, things have gotten better since then.
Wow,
We have
okay.
a sound person. We have a camera guy.
At least.
We have a production coordinator with us. And on site, we still have only 6 people. But like back at the studio, we have a research team. We have an editing team. We have a production team.
Okay, yeah.
And then, of course, like all of BuzzFeed's overhead with like legal and stuff like that, so we don't get sued.
That's always good. Yeah. So which is, you know, easier or harder? You know, like now that you
Oh,
have so many
yes.
people, is it
Yeah.
harder to manage them now, or?
I will say it's made me much better at delegating because before I was not that good at that. And
Well,
I'm
you,
still.
you did all the research.
I did
right?
everything
you did
myself.
Like everything.
It was
yeah.
a one-stop shop.
Did
where
Brent do? He just went along.
Brent just
for the
showed
ride?
up.
Okay.
And he pressed record, and one day he couldn't even do that.
Didn't do that.
But
Wow.
sick dig at Brent. I hope you're watching, Bennett.
Watch your back.
Every interview I do, I bully Brent Bennett.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's definitely a different kind of challenge. I will say when there's the more people that are involved in a production, the more of a premium is put on communications.
Okay.
Because like when you don't communicate well, a lot of things fall through the cracks. It becomes like a lot of okay, that's being done over there, and then you never actually communicated it, and then that person over there is thinking that you're doing it. So like,
Oh
you know,
yeah.
a lot of times things actually it takes a little bit longer to do things, and that's just kind of finding a groove. But I think since we've done the show for so long now, we're kind of in a production groove where everyone knows how each other works, knows each other's tendencies, good and bad, and we make it
Okay.
work. But no, it's a fun team. It's kind of like a family.
That's so fun, and
Yeah,
your
it's fun.
family's growing. That's so fun. Okay.
Yeah, I guess I'm. I think Katie LeBlanc, our producer, she's the executive producer, is the matriarch of the family. I would say now. I've kind of ceded
Okay.
the title. Before I did a lot of like the minutia stuff, but I would say she holds the ship together.
Wow. And now you're just the face.
Yeah, now
You're the face.
I'm
of this
just the
company.
figurehead. I'm like the Pope.
Wow. It's totally fine. You know, you're doing a great job.
I could say that, right? Everyone knows he's a figurehead, right?
Yeah. You're fine.
Okay.
You're fine. So, do you have any suggestions for college students who are trying to get into the new media industry, into you know, YouTube and all of that?
Yeah, I would say the biggest thing is to just, and I'm going to say this in the talk later today, is just to stop thinking and just start doing.
Okay.
Just create as much as you possibly can, because what you're doing by just creating kind of, you know, I guess off the cuff and not being so precious is you're getting reps, but you're also discovering what your tone is.
Yeah.
And I think like the biggest thing that you could discover at a young age is what your creative tone is, and like, you know, that's what will separate you from everybody else, other than the quality of your work and the quality of your story. But yeah, I would say just create as much as you possibly can, build a reel, and you'll kind of find out what it is you're supposed to do by just doing that.
Okay, yeah.
And, but you're never going to learn if you don't make mistakes either. And the only way you make mistakes is by just
just
doing silly things.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, because in like season 1, you can see like the fonts are pretty much similar. Like the whole style of the show is similar. You know, it's just the production values.
Yeah, I always wanted the show, even as we built out the show, as the periphery of it grew, I always wanted the show to still feel like it was coming from the mind of a madman. Like,
You've nailed it.
yeah, because like when I
You've
first pitched
nailed
the
it.
show, I wanted it to be kind of like, I wanted the graphics to mimic what like a dude in his basement would
Okay,
look like.
that's why
what
there's
his
like the
graphics would
lines
look like.
connecting
Exactly,
and
yeah.
it's black and white.
And I thought if we ever
okay.
lost that spirit, the show would be lost.
There's no Unsolved. It's just not.
Exactly, and that all goes back to tone. Like
Yeah.
the tone of the show is very clear from just the first episode even to the last episode, and that was found through experimentation.
Okay.
But I do think people don't realize how important tone is. Like I just saw a movie called Parasite, which you all should see if you haven't seen it. But that guy's a master of balancing tone. That he has like 3 or 4 different genres squeezed into one movie, and that's because he's done everything. He's able to kind of juggle them effortlessly. Not that I'm comparing myself to Bong, which is
Yeah.
the director, but I'm just saying that tone is important.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So, what would you consider your first break into the new media industry, whether that's at Buzzfeed or on YouTube or on another platform or something like that?
I did a video called "Can Anybody DJ?" Or I think the YouTube title was "We Tried DJing to See If We Could."
Okay.
Anyways, it was a video where I set out on this journey to see if I could learn how to DJ in 1 week and perform a live set in front of an audience. And that was like my first experience really like doing like a hosted adventure with a platform in that big of setting. And that was kind of like what got my feet wet. And I think that spurred the idea that maybe I was decent at this. So that kind of led to the creation of Test Friends, which was this series I did with Shane, Daisha, and Jen Ruggiero, where we explored health and fitness trends.
Okay.
And, you know, we tortured ourselves by going vegan while also doing P90X at the same time. And it was just
Whoa.
it was just a nightmare.
Oh,
But yeah, I
wow.
would say that was like my first break in terms of getting
Okay.
reps in front of camera and getting comfortable, and yeah.
And the questions have to be asked. Can you DJ?
I think I did pretty well,
Okay.
to be quite honest. I mean,
Okay.
look, I don't want to toot my own horn, but toot. I think
Here
it was
we
pretty
are.
good. I did only have a week,
Okay.
and I didn't mess up any of the transitions. So, you know, you can watch the tape. You don't have to just sit here and listen to me blow smoke out my butt. The performance happened, and dare I say, it was okay.
Wow.
It was okay.
Wow. All right. Well, do you have any final things you want to say? Any hobbies you're working on? Any last words? Any last words
yeah.
for this
Do
conversation?
I get the last word? Is this
Yep.
the O'Reilly factor?
Yes, absolutely.
Let's see. You know, I mean, I have strange hobbies. They're not that spectacular. I love basketball. I love films. I watch movies as much as I possibly can. And I love the spooky genre.
Spooky.
I'm like spooky
Spooky.
season is upon us,
It
and
is
I
spooky
love
season.
everything that comes with that, whether it's like Halloween Horror Nights or Not Scary Farm or any of that stuff. Like I put myself through torture. I'm a bit of a masochist, I suppose.
Great. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks. And thanks to the Asian American Association for, again, bringing Ryan Bergara here to campus. This has been Nina Navazia with Mr. Bergara here from Buzzfeed Unsolved with LTV at the College of New Jersey.